because my wife called me, and I had to answer the call. And my apologies, my sincere apologies. So we were talking about that. You know what? Letting go of the past. It's something that can happen. We can let go of the past if we try the techniques, the skills, the stories that I'm going to share with you here. And I was talking about the two bakers who, were going to bake, cakes and see who would produce the best cake. And this is a story that kind of depicts what determines the outcome of who we are in life, who determines what we become in life. The first baker had what we can call ancient, like I said, ingredients. Ancient, traditional, just someone who didn't have what we call today as the best ingredients. They had old stuff, old flour, sugar that was tainted. They had to put a lot of effort to make sure each and each and every ingredient has been processed to their perfection, and their oven was old model, the firewood one, the charcoal coal one, and you had to make sure that you are constantly checking that the baking is taking place well and everything. And the second baker had state-of-the-art kitchen. Everything is 21st century type of stuff. Ingredients ordered fresh, delivered, in the morning. And, they had everything spot on. The oven, brilliant, good, voice activated programs and everything. And there they go. They baked the cake. And the best cake, guess who made the best cake? The one who had the ancient or just ingredients. And the lesson from this is that in cake making, it is not about having the ingredients, but it is what you do with the ingredients that determines the quality of your cake. You might have the best ingredients delivered, ordered online, delivered fresh from the shop or picked or whatever, and you've got state-of-the-art ovens and everything. But if you do not have the intelligence to mix appropriate portions, taking care of them, and making sure that you have put everything that is needed in a cake, you will not produce a good cake. I think this story resonates with a lot of us. Our lives, if we look at the past, they've not been so great. The majority of the 7 billion people on this planet, life has not been brilliant. Our upbringing has not been the best. We have lagged in a lot of areas. It's only a few people who were privileged to have everything, state-of-the-art, everything. But now, if you look at real life stories, what matters, what determines who you become is how you handle all these life ingredients to make you. You might have a brilliant upbringing, but have an atrocious life in the end. And you might have one of the most atrocious upbringing and have the most successful life. These are life stories. It happens. It's about how you perceive your life, how you interpret your life, your attitude towards life matters. It is very, very important to consider. When we want to make a cake of life, it is about what effort we put on the ingredients. The effort that we put in the ingredients is what matters. Now, let me say, I said it's so easy. It is so easy. It is so easy to let go. It is so easy to not let the past own you. You do not own the past. You don't own the past. How do you do it? You need to learn to let go of your past. You need to learn to let go of your past. Now, we carry a lot of burdens in our heads. We carry a lot of baggage in our heads. We carry a lot of rubbish in our heads. It is not the past which is carrying all this baggage. It is you who is carrying it in your head. Therefore, you need to learn. The first thing when you want to let go of your past, the first thing is to know how to let go. Now, I will ask you a question. If I gave you this bottle of water and asked you, how heavy does it feel like? I know a lot of you will go mathematical. They will go mathematical. Weight is measured in ounces, it is measured in stone, it's measured in grams, it is measured in kilograms. And this is a 500 milliliter bottle of water. And it feels like it's half a kg. This is how it feels. But that's not the answer. In this case, the answer is how the weight feels for this bottle of water is determined or depends on how long I am going to hold it. If I hold this bottle of water for 2 minutes, it's going to be comfortable, very, very comfortable. Go to 3 minutes, I begin to feel it. Already I'm beginning to feel the weight. If I go to 5, 10, 15 minutes, this is going to be quite heavy. Now, if I put it down, if I let it go for 1 minute and do something else, and then come back and hold it again, it feels lighter. It feels lighter than when I started, but it has not changed. I have not removed any liquid. I have not removed any fluid from this bottle. It's still the same bottle. But what has made it lighter is the fact that I put it down. So letting it go, putting it down, has given my arm time to re-energize, to accumulate more power, to recover. And when I lifted it, it was more prepared because it had spent time resting. It was more prepared to hold it. And rather than feeling heavier, it felt lighter. Now, I want you to try this experiment at home. Try this practical experiment. Fill a cup of water and just hold it. Hold a cup of water, full of water, for 10 minutes. no, 10 minutes is just too much. For 3 minutes, let's say 3 minutes, and put it down for a minute and lift it and notice the difference in weight. It feels lighter. This is a practical example. Now we apply this to the burdens, apply this to the history, to the past that you are constantly carrying in your head. It can be anger from a past relationship. It can be hurt from a past job loss. It can be, pain from a past illness. It can be a loss from a deceased family member or so on. Anything, a burden that you have been carrying all along. Try it. Put it down. You can actually, like imagery, imagine this is, you can't let go the loss of your mother. You can't let go the loss of a job. You can't let go the abuse that you suffered as a child. You can't let go the bullying that you suffered in school. You can't let go that loss. You know it yourself. You know what you are finding difficult to let go. Label it. Put it. Imagine this is it. And say, I'm letting it go. I'm putting it down for the next 10 minutes. And experience the change in your mind. Experience the change in your mind. Then after 10 minutes, go back and say, okay, I am taking back my burden because I love it so much. I've lived with it for 10 years, for 15 years. It's part of me. And see how it feels. It definitely feels lighter. It feels lighter. I have said, you know what? It is how we interpret this historical past. It is our attitude towards them. It is our perspective of them. If we change all this and say, oh yes, I know my husband abused me, used to abuse me. But now, I am now single. I am now living all by myself. They are gone. They are no longer part of my life. Therefore, there is no need for me to keep on carrying that abuse within me. Because let me tell you, if someone calls you a dog, they call you a dog once. They've just called you, you fool, once, right? They've called you a name once. And if you let go and say, oh, okay, you've called me a dog or a donkey, you look around yourself, your mouth, no, my head and ears and mouth is not like a donkey, therefore I'm not a donkey, and you believe it. And you just let go. You let go and say, okay, you let go, that's your own opinion. And you let go. They've just called you a donkey once. But the moment you start thinking and say, but that person, why would they call me a donkey? Twice. Now the second time is yourself who is calling yourself a donkey. If you think about it a third time, fourth time. So someone can call you a name once and you spend the whole day thinking about it. You're calling yourself that name several times. And by so doing, you are making the past take over you. And that's when people begin to be owned and controlled by their past, and they begin to experience all these emotions. Tell me, out of a relationship, if you are out of a relationship with someone, why would you want to keep on carrying their emails, their pictures, their memorabilia? Why? You do not own the past. Let the past go. Let the past go. You do not own the past. That's number one, to let the past go. Number two, I said it's very, very important. Very, very important to recognize the fact that you are central in everything, in your recovery, even in your recovery, in your healing, in everything. Jesus Christ, our Lord, said, do not seek things from the outside. Seek ye the kingdom of heaven from within you. It is within you. A lot of things are within this heart, this mind, the heart, crucial. It's about you. So you need to feel free. Seek freedom. I say, where you don't want to be is your freedom, is your prison. Where you don't want to be is your prison. Therefore, if you want to let go of the past, you need to free yourself. If you want to let the past go, you need to you need to free yourself. Okay, I've heard people talking about, they've been abused by their parents, they've been abused at the workplace, they've been bullied at school. And where do you find them? You find them at the same home, find them at the same workplace, you find them at the same school, you find them at the same university, you find them in the same locality where they are being bullied. You are not free. You are not going to be free. So it is very, very important to change. Get yourself out of prison. Where you don't want to be is your prison. So move. Freedom. How do we free ourselves? We free ourselves by recognizing the fact that I am the master. And if I am the master, I need to treat myself well. We talk of loving, kindness, forgiveness, empathy, compassion, warm-heartedness. Yes, we talk about these things. And these need to be extended to yourself first. You need to love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself and you have been, you suffer from trauma and you suffer from, self-unworthiness, you suffer from all these negative emotions, it is going to be very difficult to appreciate life in general. You need to start with yourself. You need to start with yourself. Now, how do we start with ourselves? I've told before of a story of two bed bricks on a wall. A man who had never learned how to build decided, well, they were not going to spend money on a builder, on a 1,000 brick wall. So they were going to do it. They had observed others doing it. So they bought the bricks, they bought the cement, everything, all tools that they needed. And there they go with every effort and struggle and whatever. They were able to build a wall of 1,000 bricks. But when they finished, when they were looking at what would be amazing wall, they realized that there were two bricks that were actually not very, very much in line. And they were so devastated. They were so disheartened. They were so angry at themselves. They started blaming themselves. They started saying all sorts, calling themselves all sorts of names because of those two bad bricks. They were every day thinking, I think I need to take this wall down so that I can line up those two bricks. I can't have a wall with these two. They've spoiled everything. Things changed when a friend came and said, hey, what a wonderful wall. And they said, what do you mean? Can't you see those two bricks? They are not right. They are not. And the friend said, hey, how many bricks did you use to build this wall? And they said, 1,000 bricks. And the friend said, so you are telling me you cannot see the 998 good bricks. All you can see is just two bad bricks. And it was the game changer. They realized their error of thinking. They realized how hardwired their mind had been on the negative, just looking at the negative, just two bricks and overlooking 998 bricks. Now, in your life, now look, whatever you have gone through, whatever abuse you have gone through, that has not been you. It was not your fault. You did not invite abuse. You did not ask to be abused. You did not ask to be neglected. You did not ask to be raped. You did not ask to do all those things. Therefore, you cannot sit down and wallow in dejection and say, my life is ruined and it's gone and terrible because of maybe that one incident, two incidents, three incidents. Look at your life. How many good things have you done to yourself, for yourself? And how many other good things can you continue to do for yourself? There is lots. There is plenty. Two bad bricks cannot spoil the rest. You need to believe in yourself and see the good that is within you. It's hard, I know, and I know it because I've experienced it. It's hard to see the good things, especially when there are two bad things. It is how our mind is wired. Our mind is easy to pick on the negatives and overlook all the positives. Now, let me say this. Consider the baker story. Consider the two bricks on a wall and say, really? Should the past control me? Should my life today onwards be controlled by my past? I say no. I say no. And this is true. This is true. Maybe you didn't notice it. You didn't realize it. You didn't see it. Because sometimes when you are in a situation, to be honest, when you have been traumatized, you are having flashbacks, we are having all this. Sometimes we are still bumping into the abuser and so on. It's hard to see these things that I am talking about here. But let me say to you, you know what? Sometimes it's just turning the mind a little bit. Turning the mind a little bit. That will do the trick. Turning the mind just a little bit. Because in life, if you still believe in yourself, and you can, take it from me, from today, say to yourself, I do not own the past. You don't. You are a new creation, and the old is gone, and behold, the new is here. So the new is here. This is what I am telling you, that from today, say to yourself, I do not own the past. What has happened in the past has happened and I can't change. No one can change the past, unfortunately. You can't change the past. What is done cannot be undone. What you can do is to improve, is to learn and move on, to change your perspective, to change your attitude, to change your interpretation, the way you interpret these events. Don't let them drag you down. I was saying, you know what? There's a story of, two farmers who were rearing chickens, hens, egg chickens. Egg chickens, they had a massive farm, egg chickens. And one morning, one farmer went to the chicken run. And what did he collect from there? He collected chicken shit and brought it in a basket into the house, and the house stank of chicken shit. And when the next farmer woke up, he went to the chicken run and picked some eggs, which he brought to the kitchen and prepared a wonderful breakfast. And the whole kitchen was filled with smelling nice eggs with tomatoes, onion, and so on, omelets. Wonderful. Two farmers who went to the same chicken run, to the same chicken house. One chose to pick chicken shit. The other one chose to pick eggs. In life, whatever has happened to your life, there is a positive in your life. If you look carefully and you know where to look, you need to be grateful. First and foremost, be grateful that you are still alive. Be grateful that you are there. I know this sounds really, really harsh, isn't it? To say, wow, even if somebody has bullied you, or even if somebody has shot at you, during a road rage and you were injured, but you survived, you need to be grateful that, wow, they missed. They could have killed you. You could be dead, but you are not. Imagine just how many people out there have been first abused, then murdered. There are lots, there are millions. How many children out there have been neglected by their parents? Not just neglected, but neglected, then they ended up losing their life. There are millions. How many people there have been bullied at the workplace and have ended up being bullied and being fired from the job again? There are millions. How many people have been so unfortunate to lose their lives, but you still are listening to Evangelist Mangwende talking to you right now? That's why I was saying at the beginning, I count it joy that despite the pain that I go through, this mouth still talks. This mind still thinks. This heart is still beating. Therefore, I try to use each and every minute to the fullest. I try to use each and every minute to the best, because you never know. I have been taught a lesson. It's a privilege to be talking. It's a privilege to be waving these hands. There are a lot of people out there who are saying, if only I could say one word, if only I could say just one last word, but they've not been given. So happiness is everywhere. Whether you have been in what situation, happiness is everywhere. You just need to know where to look by changing your perspective, by changing your attitude, by changing, the way you think and interpret these things. So what are you picking from your life? Are you constantly picking out the negatives only and putting it in your basket and carrying the basket back home to be walloping in sadness, in depression all the time? Or you are choosing to pick the eggs? And picking the eggs brings good smell, happiness into you. There's quite a lot. To be honest with you, I do know, because I have experienced these things. I'm talking to you from experience because I have seen them. I have seen people who have had terrible lives, I have experienced people who have, I've lived with people who will tell you, you know what, my life was terrible. And you think, God, why do we have such people on earth? But let me tell you one thing. It's like, or I can say, life is like when someone just decides from nowhere to come and dump a truckload of dung at your doorstep. A truckload of cow shit at your doorstep. A truckload of dung, manure, pamsoba. And you come home to find, oh my God. You ask your neighbors, who has done this? They tell you don't know. There's no CCTV to record who has done it. It's a waste of time, actually, because it's there. You've got to act. There are two ways to deal with it. One, you can, you can sulk and start calling names. You can start blaming, start thinking, have you done something wrong? Is it someone that you have angered? Or you can start collecting the cow dung and putting it in your pockets and moving around with it. And then people running away from you because you'll be smelling. How many people, when they are faced with challenges, depressing challenges, instead, they carry it around them. They are looking sad all the time. They are tearful all the time. They are constantly complaining. And what happens as a result? People start deserting them. Because people on this world, they do not want to associate themselves with people who are constantly complaining and appearing to be suffering. They drain a lot of energy. I'm not saying it's a good thing. No. But some people just want to be happy. You know, this world, the book of Job, what does it say? Man born of woman has got few days. A lot of the few days are full of trouble. So if you're going to add sorrow again onto their few days, they are going to say, you know what, brother? I am not interested. I don't want to hear. And then you feel rejected and so on and so on. So it is very important to, instead of just complaining, go get a wheelbarrow. Start carrying that cow dung to your garden, to your back garden, in the flower beds, in your orchard, in your field, onto your compost, and prepare for the next season. And what will happen next? You're going to have wonderful vegetables. You're going to have beautiful flowers. And people will come to say, this is a wonderful and good flower garden. You will have brilliant fruits. And you will share them with your neighbors. And this is a game changer, a life changer. You can deal with it. Do not just sit down and mourn at life, that life has thrown to you this, life has done this to you, life, people are doing this. What are you going to do about it? You do not own the past. Let it go. Let it go. You know what? I will tell you that life requires us to be a little bit creative, not to sit down and say, oh, I will tell you, a lot of things, are game changers in life. Practicing these things. I said, you don't own your past. Take little pieces of paper, strips of paper, and write every horrible thing that has happened to you in the past that keeps on coming. My mother was horrible to me. My father was horrible to me. My sisters were so controlling. My so-and-so was this. My so-and-so this. The teacher, whatever, boss, manager, work colleagues, everything, whatever. His life, my husband, my boyfriend, everything that you are struggling to let go, write them down. On pieces of paper. And I want you to find an empty bottle and put them in that empty bottle. Squeeze it shut. Take it. If you live near the sea, take it to the sea. I know you're thinking, oh, this is plastic or this is glass in the sea. We are doing therapy and we need to consider the environment. Take it to the river. This is treatment. And say, I'm letting go of my past. If you are so concerned about the environment and you don't want to put plastic, you don't want to put glass in the rivers, in the oceans, and so on, then just write them and make a ball of them. Take them to the river and throw them. It's paper. It's going to wash away and it's going to disintegrate. And you say, goodbye, my past. Keep the good part of your past. Keep the good part of your past to bring back to memory when you want it. There's a little trick that somebody taught me. They said, if you have got a terrible past that constantly pops up, buy a pair of slippers, right? Buy a pair of slippers and just scribble them, or just mentally say the left slipper is my past. Everything that has happened in my past is on the left slipper. And on the right slipper is my anticipation and fear of the future. You write it. And when you go to sleep, put them under the bed and you sleep on top. And you say to yourself, I am sleeping over my past. And I'm also sleeping over my fearful anticipation of the future. And I wish myself happy sleep. And you sleep. Practice these things. Practice them. Write them, make a ball of it, and go and throw it away. It works. Now, some people will say, wow, how does that work? It's so simple. There are things that happens in our lives that we sometimes say, oh yes. If you open a tap of water and your bladder is full, you know what happens, don't you? You know what happens? You feel the urgency to want to go and wee. Why? Because of the running tap, which triggers your mind that, ooh, you also need to go and... So if that can happen, it means external events, if we imagine them, if we activate them, they can actually change the dynamics inside us. They can change the wiring inside us. That's where neuro-linguistic programming comes in. It is a science. It has been proved by scientists and people practice neuro-linguistic programming, where you can actually turn the way you think by just maybe doing this with your hands or a lot of other things. It happens. You need to try it. Try it at home. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid to try it. Everything that can bring you happiness, peace, joy, and, calm of mind, try it and see how it goes. And let me say, You know what? I don't own my past. Personally, I don't. I have lived a life full of disappointment, a life full of a lot of name calling, a life full of, I can say, all forms of suffering. But what I have not allowed to happen is to let anybody win. Anyone who has done something to me thinking they will win, they will disappoint me, they will drag me down, they have been disappointed, because I believe in myself. I am the star, I am the master, and I'm in control, and I am in charge. I know what is important to me. I liken life to a lotus flower. A lotus flower grows usually in ponds or in pools of water. And people love throwing all rubbish, junk, and the characteristics of a pond or a pool is that it's murky down there. But that's where the lotus seed loves growing. And when it germinates, it goes upwards because it knows its future is out there, not down there. And when it shoots out, it brings out these big leaves, which are used by a lot of other insects, creatures to rest and have fun. And then comes beautiful flowers. And people will gaze and love it and enjoy it. And the lotus flower is peaceful, harmonious, and loving, and it's beautiful, the tranquil that it brings. But the story does not begin at the top of the water. It begins from the bottom, where it is murky, where it is just rough. So your life, your past can be all sorts. Your life can be built on a terrible past. But what we see up here, if you remain positive, is brilliance, is good. Even the dragonfly has got the same. What does the dragonflies lay their eggs in water, and the larvae grows and enjoys its life under the water, down there under the water where there is all sorts. It thrives, but it never forgets. Its future is not deterred by the conditions down there, because it knows out there lies good life. And as it grows, it takes months, it can take years, some. It grows, it comes out, and then gets out of that larvae shell, and you see a beautiful dragonfly flying about, having fun, enjoying life, not remembering, oh, I was in the mud, or the lotus flower saying, oh, I'm growing in the mud, it's murky down there, it's not good. No. Let go of your past, because you don't control, you don't own the past. You need to say this to yourself. Remember, 2 bad breaks cannot spoil 998 bricks. There is more good that you have done. You just need to look. Be your own master. Let go. Be free. Love. Forgive. And give without expecting anything back. And believe in yourself. Be true to yourself. Just be true to yourself. Accept the fact that What has happened to you in life, you should not let it determine or take away your happiness. Don't let anyone, don't let anybody take away your happiness. No matter what they say to you, no matter what they do to you. Yes, I know you have been raped. It was not your choice. You didn't want to be raped. So don't blame yourself for that. Let go of that blame. You did not invite the rapist into your house. You did not invite the rapist to rape you. It's wrong. And if they are in prison, they are serving their jail term, and you need to let go. You did not invite yourself to be in an abusive relationship. You do not have to let that partner, husband, wife, take away your happiness. You did not choose to have a mother who was so controlling. You did not choose to have a father. You know, the sad thing about being a child is that you don't choose parents. You don't choose your parents. So you cannot blame yourself for having said yes to what your mother was saying. Yes, your mother was bad. Your mother was bad. And she will reap and she will harvest what she deserves for that wrong. It's not your fault. So don't continue to blame yourself. I've heard people say, I'm feeling suicidal because I'm constantly thinking of the bad things that my parents did to me. You know what? You are very, 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 very important in life. We love you. We want you. We want you. We love you. You are a very, very, important part of society. Value yourself. Appreciate yourself. You are important and you need to live. Let go of the past and go on with your university. Go on with your college. Go on with your job. Go on with your life. Yes, I understand. It's not easy. It requires us to practice. That's why I have now introduced mindfulness and meditation in some or in almost all my chats, and also in my preaching and in my sharing the word of God with friends and family. Because I know mindful teaches you to let go and to stay in the moment, not wanting to change things, non-judgmentally, just letting things be, letting the moment be the moment, and inviting peace, calm, loving kindness, forgiveness, empathy, compassion, warm-heartedness, peace to just come in. Remember your morals. Remember your virtues. Remember your precepts. You have got something that is important to you. Don't let someone take away your happiness. It's not worth it. Try this and remember the stories that I've shared with you. 2 bad breaks against 998. I think 998 wins. You are important. I love you. Keep on fighting. Don't give up. Keep on fighting that fight. And don't let another person ruin your happiness. Believe in yourself that you can do it. If you have got questions, if you have got any questions, if you want you know, face-to-face support, if you want on-call support, I can do that with you. I can do that with you. I am really, and the good news is that you'll get it free. You will get it free. Well, that is it. And I will say, you know what? It was nice talking to you, fellow brethren. It was nice talking to you, my followers, followers out there. I don't want to call you my followers, you know, followers, people who follow me. I also follow you in other platforms. I really value your comments. I really value your participation. I share my videos with people. Do not hesitate. You don't have to ask for permission to share my videos. Share them widely and invite people to come to my pages. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Twitter, on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube and other, you know, social media platforms out there. You can find me there, and my phone number is quite visible on my platforms, and you can phone me. I am saying I'm talking to you about these things because I know they work. I've tried them on myself during this time when I've been, you know, unwell, and they've helped me and they continue to help me. So rather than being selfish and keeping them all to myself, I think I should share them with you. It's a blessing. I'm counting it joy. I'm counting it a blessing that, you know, despite my feet giving me problems, my mind and my mouth and my heart is still wonderful. It's still doing great things. And I want to praise God for that. And even yourself, praise God that you still have got a part of you that is still functioning. Let us harness the power. Let us harness the energy and use it productively. In whatever you do it all the way. Put whatever you have got. Put all you have got in everything that you do. If you love, put love, everything in there. Give love everything you have got, and just love and love and love. If it is happiness, give happiness everything it has got. Everything, just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Give it a try. Give it a try. Forget, let go, not forget. Let go. Let go of the past. Let go. Don't let it take your life. Don't talk of taking your life. Don't talk of isolating yourself. Don't talk of abusing drugs to just dampen your mind so that you don't think about these things. When the drugs are gone, things come back. Learn to let go. Physically, just letting go. I say it. Hold this for 20 minutes. The arm will be aching. Put it down for 1 minute. Lift it up again. It's lighter. You practice it more and more, you develop resilience to be able to, you know, absorb all the pressure. And God bless you. And have a very good afternoon.